So recently I finished the anime called Clannad. If you know from my Right Stuff video, I did pick this up and I had it on Blu-ray, and this, it came with season 1 and 2, and I finally watched it and finished it. And let me tell you, oh, trust me, I still am feeling some stuff from this anime. I did get depressed. I'm telling you, man, when I'm not capping when I say in the title, it did make me sad and depressed because some of the stuff that happens. Bruh, basically, this is what y'all be trying to push in the comments in the Mikami Get Killed video, talking about how y'all be sad and depressed over the shit. This is actually some shit to get you sad and depressed. So before we get into everything, because I'm going to tell you how I feel about it and all that, just know there's going to be hella spoilers because I'm going into a whole lot of shit. Because I mean, if I'm going to talk about like how I feel and what this anime made me feel, I got to go and dive into spoilers. So if you've not seen this anime, the anime's been out since 2006. I did not even know that. I was like, damn, this is that old? I didn't even know it was that old, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around, or maybe that's the game, I don't know. But yes, it's an anime that's been out for a while. I didn't know that. This is the first time I saw it, so I don't want to spoil it to nobody. So if you don't want no spoilers, just click off of the video, watch the anime, come back later. Or if you are fine with spoilers like how I usually am, just keep watching the video. You might learn something. Hey, so let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the first sign that shows this was gonna be a sad anime. And I mean like a sad because like I've always heard stuff about this, that this takes like a crazy twist like at certain points in the anime. So the first one you can tell that it's going to be sad is with the girl Fuko, or however you say her name. However, the one that's in the school carving the hearts and they go up to her. That was like the first sign, because you realize as the anime goes on through them episodes, you realize that she's a ghost because her real body's in the hospital. And yeah, that was sad when they forget about her, and then like they randomly have her pop up in episodes later on and nobody remembers her. One of the things I didn't like was about the memory. I wish they explained like why all these people forget all this stuff, because like even the main character, he had like a lot of like problems with memory from stuff like later on, like when they have other characters that he forgot in the past, especially like with his dad and Hitami, whatever her name is, yeah, her, especially with them too. Like he had stuff from the past that he forgot about. So I just wonder like why certain characters in the anime like lose memory like that, because it just seems like they have amnesia that fast and they just forget about everything. That's one of the things I was like, why? Like maybe I'm like, I know this is based off of a visual novel, but I'm like, I wish they would have gone into maybe the game goes into detail why they forget their memory so much, because it seemed like they forget stuff a lot and it just seems like their memory just disappears. So that was one of the things I was like, I wish they explained that well, but so there's a lot of like stuff in here. Like one of the things is like the little girl in the robot. I mean, it gets explained throughout the series like what they actually mean and like how it impacts the story, but I don't know, it just seemed like they were just there, they kind of just seemed like they were there just to do something towards the end that they do. So that was one of the things. Just know Suhara, bro, they be doing him dirty, bro. They do him super dirty. Like, bro, I wish they would have gave him a girlfriend some point in the anime just so that he could have had one, because bro, they be doing him dirty. He be getting his ass beat, all types of shit. It should just be like, man, can he catch a break? Only person that's real with him and cares about him enough is his sister. And I'm like, bro, we don't want that. But it was like his sister was more like a mom. So yeah, that was one thing. So he was always getting the short straw. So that was one character I was just like, damn, they're always doing him dirty. Another person they do dirty is Hitami, because she's the only one that does not get a route in the whole anime. The two twins get their own OVA. Tomiyo, she gets her own OVA that gets to show her route, but Hitami, bro, she does not get her own route at all. And I was like, damn, why they not do that? Because hers would have been an interesting one. I wonder like how hers would have worked, because that would have been one interesting. There's probably like in the game, they probably have one in the game, her route. But I was like, man, why they do her so dirty? I was like, damn. I was like, you gonna get the other ones? Even though the twins had to share something, but it was like, I was like, damn. Yeah, that was one thing. I was just like, I wonder why they did that. And another thing is just, it's funny in both of them OVAs that he literally kisses all three girls, but he never kisses Nagisa like at all, bro. That was one thing I was wondering. I was like, oh, like it just went from they're in a relationship to, oh, she's pregnant with a baby, but we never saw a kiss on screen. So I was like, wow, that was like very interesting. I wonder why they did it that way. Like I was kind of like, why? Because that's very weird, because most romance type of anime, they have if the main characters, they're gonna kiss at one point, so that happens. It's just like, it was very interesting that they didn't. So I was just like, why? But yeah, that was like one of the things. That's just one of them funny things. Cause I remember even like looking stuff up on Reddit. People even talked about that. That shit was funny. So yeah, that was one little thing. Cause I was just like, I wonder why they did that, and they just never showed it. So Yeah, so another thing is I liked Nagasa's parents, because like their little gag they had whenever what is his name, like Aki, yeah, whenever he would say something to the mom about like her bread, he would always talk shit about the bread, and then she would run away. That shit was always funny. But I like both of their characters because they're like really good characters. Both of them were really good, especially later on when you learn stuff and what they actually did. It was really good. So let's get into the bread and the butter of this. Let's get to the story, like the main story. So you follow a guy named Tomiya. He's the main character, and he hates the town that he's from, and he hates going to school and all. He basically hates his home life because of certain reasons why he hates that. So, and then one day he's going to school, he sees this girl named Nagisa who's like talking to herself, trying to like motivate herself to go to school. He ends up saying something to her. As you go on, they end up becoming friends, and he tries to help her like get the drama club and all that. And we can fast forward and skip a lot of stuff. You have all the people that come in, but the main bread and butter is this, that these two get together, and also Nagisa has always been sick, and she's been already held back from school. So she's right now she's a super senior. But the second sad thing that happens is that she gets sick after like the play and all that, and it's like, and she has all this big group of friends. Before, like, she's barely had like rarely any friends, and it's just like she has this big group of friends that she could have graduated with, but because she became sick, she wasn't able to, so she had to stay in the house the whole time while everybody else is graduating. You know, the whole friend group was sad about that. So that was like the first sad thing that happened because of her health. She had to go to school by herself again, and of course the club that she had, the drama club, and she wasn't like, it didn't happen. Like, nobody was joining at all. So she was kind of struggling in school, but I mean, she still had a few underclassmen that were friends because she was a super senior ×2 that year. But yeah, she ends up graduating. But also Tomiya, one thing he does is he experiences life because he lives on his own. He gets a full-time job, and he has to deal with like balancing his schedule with work and seeing Nagisa, maybe seeing his friends or something. He's had to balance all that, and like he starts to stress because you can tell that, because like it's like he sees that he has to miss out on stuff because like she wants to go to his festival with him, and he ends up like, because he messed up with his job, and has to go later. So there's stuff like that too. So I mean, that hits you with some real life, because that is some real life stuff. When like if you get a full-time job or even a job plus school and all that, you usually got to balance out stuff. So that was something that hit home because I understood that. Like, I could understand that. I was like, bro, I've been through that, where you've had like work or like a whole bunch of shit on your plate, and you had to make time for somebody, and then at the same time you really can't because like you're busy. So shit like that happens. That was like one little thing I was like, I enjoyed that. I was like, oh, okay. So as that goes on, Nagisa graduates, and then they end up wanting to get together and get married. They end up getting married. That happens. And the one thing I knew it was gonna go dark, because there was one thing she suggested, and the one thing she suggested was to have a baby. And as soon as I heard that, I was thinking like, oh, and like they discussed her health. I was thinking about her health the whole time, because if you've seen the show, you know, like the whole time, like I was saying, that her health has been a problem. So yeah, so she gets pregnant, that happens, and at first she wants to have the baby at home, but everybody's worried about her health and all that. Like the mom, Tomiya, everybody's like just worried about that, and they're saying if you're fine, we can do it at home, but they really don't want to do it at home. They want to do it in the hospital because there's a better chance that she could survive in the hospital, because she could potentially die. As soon as I heard that potentially die, I knew something bad was going to happen. And like, I had a feeling that she was going to die. Spoilers, but if you should know, if I said earlier, spoilers are going to be happening, but I knew that she was. Sadly, I really did. It's just I wasn't just thinking the way it did, because they literally did the worst thing ever, bro. The worst day of the year, it decides to snow and all that, and they can't get to the hospital. But on the worst day of the year, she goes into labor, and it's just like, wow. And it's like, really. And then like, she has the baby. The baby's healthy, and you see Tomiya there. He's holding the baby, all happy, and then you just see her there slowly losing life. I was like, damn, that shit was sad. That shit was really sad, bro. Yeah, because I was like, damn, because like he was living because he was happy with her. He's with the love of his life. They moved in together. They've been living. She got a job too, and they've just been living life. And it was just like, damn, like it really was like that. It really, I was like, damn, that shit was very sad, because like, you gotta remember, he's burying his wife. The parents have to bury their daughter, because you know, whenever parents have to bury their child, that's always sad, because it's like, it shouldn't be that way. Like, you shouldn't have to bury your child. It's usually the child that buries the parents, because the parents are older, and when it happens, so that was sad. And also sad because their daughter would never get to meet their mom. So yeah, so after that, life hits Tomiya badly, because he gets depressed. He gets depressed for 5 years, and he does not see his child. He barely sees his child. Like, he doesn't raise his child at all. The child gets raised by the two grandparents, Nagisa's parents, and it's just like, Yeah, like he went through it, like through it, where like at work they were telling him like, bro, you need to take a vacation. He kept saying, no, I don't need one, I don't need one. So yeah, he was really just running away from everything, because you know that is something people do. Like if you get a death in the, if you get a experience a death in the family, sometimes, especially what type of death it is, if it's a very like special loved one, it can affect you, and sometimes you just like you have to like do something else to lose focus up. Sometimes you might run away from something. So like he was running away from being a parent and all that. So yeah, that happens. Just know it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse, because so his daughter's 5 years old, and finally after like he takes a vacation, because the two parents, they basically get him to like finally be with her, and like when he's first with her, he's over here just acting a certain type of way because he hasn't been around her and all that. But then eventually they go on this trip and they meet he finally meets his grandma for the second time, because like some reason they didn't really see each other no other time, but it was the first time he saw her in a long time, because he saw her when she's like a little kid. And she tells him about like how his dad was, and I forgot to talk about earlier that the dad does, like him and his dad have hella beef, but you'll find out why his dad has beef, because when he meets his grandma talks about like how his dad struggled to like raise him and try to do his best, because like his mom died like young in an accident, so his dad was depressed too. But his dad was like, yo, I'm gonna try and raise my son, because I know my wife would want me to raise my son the right way. So like you find out that his dad actually was like raising him, like trying to do his best to raise him, and like the reason why he went to alcohol and all this stuff, because like he was going from job to job to job, just trying to help raise his son, trying to do the best way he was. So that's why like in the show he acts the way he is, because like he's tired, like he's done a lot. And it's just like, and then like Tomiya didn't understand it at the time, like that his dad really did go through it and did help him, because that was another problem. I didn't like that somehow he forgot all the memories from when his dad used to like help him when he was younger, and all the good memories. So I was just wondering where that was. I do wish in the show that the dad would have at least said stuff to him more, because they just had the dad not really say anything. That was one thing I kind of didn't like, because I was like, if the dad should have just like explained and like just putting some sense into him more than what he usually did, just to like show him that he actually does care about him. That's what he should have done. That was one thing I was kind of like, eh. So yeah, so that happens, and Tomiya decides to be a dad. He decides to be a dad, and it's just like, yo, he's being a dad, and like it's going well, until you find out that his daughter Ushio, or it's Ushi, or whatever, however I forgot, Yushino, maybe something like that. I don't remember exactly. It's somewhere or like that. You find out that she has the same disease that Nagisa has, so she becomes ill, and she's in bed, and she's been in bed for weeks and all that. They missed the sports festival and all that. It's just it's sad, bro, because it's like she got the same disease the mom had, and then she keeps pushing him to go on a trip. So he finally gives in, takes her outside, and then she dies. Yeah. She dies like trying to, because she says that she can walk by herself, and she ends up dying. It's super sad. I was depressed. I was like, damn. That shit had tears in my eyes, because I was like, damn. Because like, bro, it's like it's like that shit is like very sad, because he lost Nagisa, and like just when he starts to finally want to become a dad and he's like enjoying it, like he loses his daughter, and it's just like, that shit hit hard. Like that shit really hit hard. Like I see why people say you get depressed from this, because it's like that shit really hit hard, because it's like, because like it seemed like every time he has something good going for himself, something bad happened, and I was like, damn. And like, yeah, and he even got his dad to go back to like living with his grandma, because that's what the grandma said. And it was just like he was trying to be better, he was better in his life, everything, and he was trying to do better in his life, and it's just like the daughter dies. So this is where the other world shit gets put in here. So from the show, there's that other world that has like a girl and a robot. So spoiler alert, you find out that's actually his daughter. When his daughter in that world died, she's the girl. She gets her soul gets transported to that world, and the robot is supposed to be him, but it's the robot that she got when she was with that flower in that flower garden that she couldn't find. That's the connection to them. That's what you're supposed to like interpret, because like they really show that at the end of the show. And the one thing that's kind of weird is because they don't give you no room, because in the next episode, bruh, they don't give you no room to have grief at all, because they basically bring everybody back to life because of certain things, because they go through, because you gotta remember this is based off a game, and the game's a visual novel, and like this show has aspects from the games. So like the one thing in the games is you get these orbs each time you do something. In the show they just show them in the sky. So like these orbs are like things that go to that other world where the Ushino in that world, she ends up like making a wish that because like she wants to like make a like a really reasonable wish and all that, because like her wish was like to go to the flower garden. That's where her dad was taking her, and then she died. So she wants to like grant her dad's wish, and that's how like he basically gets to a world where nobody dies, where Nagisa doesn't die, Ushino doesn't die, all that. That's basically what it is. That's like the brief explanation of it. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's super weird. Just know that's why Tomiya like at the end sees all them orbs and all that. Trust me, I had to read into it, because when I first saw it, I was like, what? I was like, why? I was like, it didn't make sense, because like it just flips a whole 180 to where everybody's alive, where it was just like an episode ago they died, and it was just like, yeah. So that's the one little thing, like you had to do some big brain research or even think about it, because I mean when I first saw it, I already knew that it was, you could connect it, because like it in the show it connects, and you can tell that is his daughter. But it's just like you just gotta read into it if you want to read into it to know more about it. So yeah, that's one thing that happens. The other, it was like, I could tell how that was based on the game, because the orbs, and like another thing is just because that town is connected to Nagisa, because like the dad ran to the spot and asked for her to live, and that's why she had an illness and all this other stuff. So yeah, there's like a crazy like stuff with it, but just know, yes, this anime was like hella sad and depressing, but hey, I really enjoyed it. Just know the soundtrack is nuts. The soundtrack is really nuts, because like they have like the perfect stuff for like each moment that you just hit. It all hits, like each moment it goes like crazy, because like it just seems like they have like the best like soundtrack or best song or best sounds for like each moment that's just in the background when something happens, and like it's really good. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I love the OVAs that for each OVA that they had, and I did like seeing the different routes. I'm happy we got that, because I was curious about the different routes and all that. But hey, it was a really good anime, but just know I am sad about it. It was really sad. Those were very heartbreaking things, because especially when it's somebody like at their peak when they're happy and this heartbreaking thing happens, I was just like, damn, like that shit was sad. But hey, Clannad was like really good. I'm happy I bought it. I'm happy I finally saw this, because I've always heard a lot about this, how people said like it has a twist or it just hits you in your feels or you get depressed. So I finally wanted to see, and I'm happy I finally saw it. But just know I was sad about it. So hey, if you've not seen it and you like listen to all my spoilers, just know it's gonna be hella sad, and it's gonna be a hell of a watch, because there's 49 episodes. But yeah, hey, just know I'm still sad about that, because it is the one reason why is because we didn't get time to have grief with it. We just got hit with the, oh, they're about to be back because of all the other world type of shit and all this other stuff, complicated shit, but they're back. So we didn't really have time to have that grief. We had an episode that showed him. Like, I kind of do wish we got an episode where Ushino, like, when she died, or however you say her name, when she died, I wish we would have got an episode showing, like, how he would have went through the rest of life, because I'm just curious, like, how he would have, because that would have been very interesting, because I think he would have been, like, hella depressed, like, throughout the rest of that episode, and then you go to the one part, like, because, I mean, there is, like, kind of a slightly little thing they show, because he's talking about how you wish he never met Nagisa, because all the stuff that happened, but I do wish we would have got, like, a full episode, just him as an adult, after, like, that literally happened right then and there, like, what would have happened, especially, like, with his friends, the grandparents, all that, like, what all would they would have done, like, I think they would have had to comfort him. That would have been very interesting to see, but, yeah, if you've seen Clannad, let me know in the comments how you feel about it, because, like I said, this is my first time seeing it. And yes, it is a very depressing anime. It is, especially because this shit hits like crazy. Like, it's heartbreaking, especially some of the stuff that happens. Like I said, I didn't cry, but I mean, I was close. I had tears in my eyes. It is very heartbreaking. Like, I'm still mad. Like, I'm still upset and mad. I'm like, bro, I didn't even get no grief. They literally just slapped in my face. They're back alive. But hey, it's understandable why they did it. But I mean, we did get a happy ending, so that's something. But yeah, hey, if you've seen this anime, let me know in the comments. Let me know how you feel about all that. But yeah, if you liked the video, you can like. If you didn't, you can dislike. Subscribe if you really enjoyed. And yeah, I'm about to go watch a happy anime now, because I don't want to watch another sad one. I want to watch something happy, bro. I like sad anime, but I don't like watching them like that, when it's like, this really hit you in the feels. That stuff y'all tried, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is the type of anime y'all be trying to make a comedy kill be, which is not. It's not. But yes, thank you for watching. I'm about to go watch a happy anime, like I said. I'll see you next video. Bye.